Hello everyone, welcome to Data Science with Partha. In today's video, we will discuss the divide and the div mod methods of the series object. The divide method, as the name indicates, is short for division and is used to calculate the element by element division of the given two series, and the kind of output that we are expecting is we will be getting the floating point numbers as the end result. We will continue using the iris dataset for our example. Now, first step that we need to do is import our required libraries. So let's start coding. We'll use the load iris function and load the data. Next step is I'm going to convert this data into a particular data frame for easy access. So I'm going to call this df, and we are going to use the data frame method of the pandas and convert this data into our data frame. Okay, now that we have the data frame, let's create two series objects, and this time I'm going to select the sepal length and the petal length for our examples. Let's create the two variables. We'll say my sepal length and this will be equal to df of, and now we have to give the column name. So to get the column name, I'm just going to take the column attribute and we're going to copy the names from here. So we need the sepal length, so we'll pick up this. And secondly, we'll take the petal length. Okay, now that we have these two series objects, let us apply the divide method and see what kind of result we are getting in the output. So we'll take my sepal length dot divide and we'll give it the next series, that is the my petal length. And as soon as I run this, you can see in the output we have the division values. So what Python has done is it has taken the element by element division. That is, if you look at the petal length and the sepal length, so if I bring this up, you can see the my petal length, the first value is 1.4. Similarly, the sepal length, the value is 5.1. Now let's just take 5.1 divided by 1.4. and here you can see the output as 3.64. That is what we have received in our output when we ran this particular command. Now here we see that we have all the values, so the division can happen without any problem. But what happens if we have some kind of a null value? So let's say if the first index was blank, that we need to include is fill NA. So fill value is equal to 0. So the parameter that we need to include is fill value is equal to 0. And when I write this and when I run, then if we have any null values, then automatically those values will be considered as 0 and the calculation can take place. Now, next we have the Div Mod method. Now the Div Mod method is short for division and modulo. So when we talk of modulo, what I mean by modulo is instead of the dividend, we are going to get the remainder after the numbers are divided. So just like our dot divide method where we had element by element division, here the elements are first divided and the second set of output that we are going to get is the modulo or the remainder values. So let's see an example to understand this. I'm going to again consider the sepal length and the petal length series that we have created. So let's say my sepal length dot div mod, and we'll say my petal length. And once I run this, here you can see we have gotten two sets of outputs. The first set of output that we have is that of the quotient values when the two numbers are divided. So if we consider the values, we had 1.4 and 5.1. So if I divide 5.1 by 1.4, we are getting 3.64. That was the floating point division that we had. But here if you observe, we have the quotient as 3. So if I say 5.1 minus 1.4 times 3, we are getting the value 0.900. So that is the reason why we have the value at index 0 as 0.9 in the second set of values, that is the remainder. So this is similar to what we have in divide, but div mod gives actually two sets of outputs. One is the quotient and other is the remainder. Hence the name div mod, division and modulo. Now similar to what we saw in the divide method, if we have any null values, we can also have a fill value attribute inside the div mod. So this particular thing that we have written over here for the divide, I can simply copy and we can actually introduce the same thing inside the div mod and Python will accept it. And if we run this, we'll get the values, and if we have any null values in any of the series, then automatically that gets filled with the value of 0. So this is what I have for you guys in this video. Let me know which method you found interesting in the comments. And if you found this video useful, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.